This fruit will fall when it encounters gold. It will wither when it encounters wood. It will melt when it encounters water. It will dry up if it encounters fire. And it will be assimilated if it encounters earth. That is why one has to use an instrument of gold to knock it down, but when it falls, it has to be held by a tray cushioned with silk handkerchiefs. The moment it touches wood, it will wither and will not prolong life even if it's eaten. When it is eaten, it should be held in a porcelain container and should be dissolved with water. Again, fire will dry it up and it will be useless. Finally, what is meant by its assimilation into earth may be illustrated by what happened just now, for when you knocked it down, it at once crawled into the ground. This part of the garden will last for at least 47,000 years. Even a steel pick will not be able to bore through it, for it is 3 or 4 times harder than raw iron. That is why a man will live long if he eats one of the fruits. If you don't believe me, great sage, strike at the ground and see for yourself. Whipping out his golden hooped rod, Pilgrim gave the ground a terrific blow. The rod rebounded at once, but there was not the slightest mark on the ground. Indeed, said Pilgrim. This rod of mine can turn a boulder into powder. It will leave its mark even on raw iron. How is it that there's not even a scratch on the ground? Well, in that case, I have made a mistake in blaming you. You may go back. The local spirit thus went back to his own shrine. The great sage, however, had his own plan. After climbing up on the tree, he held the golden mallet in one hand and, with the other, pulled up the front of his silk shirt to make a little sack. Parting the leaves and branches, he knocked 3 of the fruits into the sack. He jumped down from the tree and ran straight to the kitchen. "Elder brother," said 8 Rules, smiling. "Do you have them? Aren't these the ones?" said Pilgrim. "I reached and took, that's all. But we shouldn't let Sha Monk pass up the chance of tasting this fruit. You call him." 8 Rules waved his hands and cried, "Wu Jing, come." Setting down the luggage, Sha Monk ran into the kitchen and said, "Elder brother, why did you call me?" Opening the sack, Pilgrim said, "Brother, take a look. What are these?" When Sha Monk saw them, he said, "Ginseng fruits." "Fine," said Pilgrim. "So, you recognize them? Where did you taste them before?" "I have never tasted the fruit before," said Sha Monk. "But when I was the curtain-raising captain, I waited on the throne to attend the festival of immortal peaches, and I once saw many immortals from beyond the sea presenting this fruit to the Lady Queen Mother as a birthday gift. So I have seen it, but I have never tasted it. Elder brother, will you let me try a little?" "No need to say any more," said Pilgrim. "There's one for each of us brothers." The 3 of them took the fruits and began to enjoy them. That 8 Rules, of course, had a huge appetite and a huge mouth. When he heard the conversation of the young lads earlier, he already felt ravenous. The moment he saw the fruit, therefore, he grabbed it and, with one gulp, swallowed it whole. Then he rolled up his eyes and said in a roguish manner to Pilgrim and Sha Monk, "What are you 2 eating?" "Ginseng fruit," said Sha Monk. "How does it taste?" asked 8 Rules. "Wuqing," said Pilgrim. "Don't listen to him. He ate it first. Why all these questions now?" "Elder brother," said 8 Rules. "I ate it somewhat too hurriedly, not as the 2 of you are doing, mincing and munching little by little to discover its taste. I swallowed it without even knowing whether it had a pit or not. Elder brother, if you are helping someone, help him to the end. You have roused the worms in my stomach. Please fetch me another fruit so that I can take time to enjoy it." "Brother," said Pilgrim, "you really don't know when to stop. This thing here is not like rice or noodles, food to stuff yourself with. There are only 30 such fruits in 10,000 years. It's our great fortune to have eaten one already, and you should not regard this lightly. Stop now. It's enough." He stretched himself and threw the gold mallet into the adjacent room through a little hole on the window paper without saying anything more to 8 Rules. Idiot, however, kept muttering and mumbling to himself. When the 2 Taoist lads unexpectedly came back to the room to fetch some tea for the Tang monk, they heard 8 Rules complaining about not enjoying my ginseng fruit, and saying that it would be much better if he could have a taste of another one. Hearing this, Clear Breeze grew suspicious and said, "Bright Moon, listen to that monk with the long snout. He said he wanted to eat another ginseng fruit. Before our master's departure, he told us to be wary of their mischief. Could it be that they have stolen our treasures?" Turning around, Bright Moon said, "Elder brother, it looks bad, very bad. Why has the golden mallet fallen to the ground? Let's go into the garden to take a look." They ran hastily to the back and found the door to the flower garden open. "I closed this door myself," said Clear Breeze. "Why is it open?" They ran past the flower garden and saw that the door to the vegetable garden was also open. They dashed into the ginseng garden. Running up to the tree, they started to count, staring upward. Back and forth they counted, but they could find only 22 of the fruits. "You know how to do accounting?" asked Bright Moon. "I do," said Clear Breeze. "Give me the figures." "There were originally 30 fruits," said Bright Moon. "When Master opened the garden to the public, he divided 2 of them for all of us, so that 28 fruits were left. Just now we knocked down 2 more for the Tang monk, leaving 26 behind. Now we have only 22 left. Doesn't that mean that 4 are missing? No need for further explanation. They must have been stolen by that bunch of rogues. Let's go and chide the Tang monk." The 2 of them went out of the garden gate and came directly back to the main hall. Pointing their fingers at the Tang monk, they berated him with all kinds of foul and abusive language, accusing him of being a larcenous bald head and a thievish rat. They went on like this for a long time, until finally the Tang monk could not endure it any longer. "Divine lads," he said, "why are you making all this fuss? Be quiet a moment. If you have something to say it slowly, but don't use such nonsensical language." "Are you deaf?" asked Clear Breeze. "Am I speaking in a barbarian tongue that you can't understand? You stole and ate our ginseng fruits. Do you now forbid me to say so?" "What is a ginseng fruit like?" asked the Tang monk. "Like an infant," said Bright Moon. "As you said when we brought 2 of them for you to eat just now." "Amitabha Buddha!" exclaimed the Tang monk. "I only had to take one look at that thing and I trembled all over. You think I would dare steal one and eat it? Even if I had a case of bulimia, I would not dare indulge in such thievery. Don't blame the wrong person. You might not have eaten them," said Clear Breeze. "But your followers wanted to steal them and eat them." "Perhaps you are right," said Tripitaka. "But there's no need for you to shout. Let me ask them. If they have stolen them, I will ask them to repay you." "Repay?" said Bright Moon. "You couldn't buy these fruits even if you had the money. If they can't buy them with money," said Tripitaka, "they can at least offer you an apology, for as the proverb says, righteousness is worth 1,000 pieces of gold. That should be sufficient. Moreover, we are still not sure whether it is my disciples who took your fruits." "What do you mean, not sure?" said Bright Moon. They were arguing among themselves, saying something about the portions not being equally divided. "Disciples!" cried Tripitaka. "Come, all of you." When Sha Monk heard this, he said, "It's terrible. We've been discovered. Old Master is calling us, and the Taoist lads are making all this racket. They must have found out. It is extremely embarrassing," said Pilgrim. "This is just a matter of food and drink. But if we say so, that means we are stealing for our mouths. Let's not admit it." "Yes. Yes," said 8 Rules. "Let's deny it. The three of them had no choice, however, but to leave the kitchen for the main hall. Alas, we do not know how they would be able to deny the charges. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.